sadržaj. Ja ću biti prevodioc ili možete pitanja postavljati direktno kako želite. So I just said that I asked them to be as efficient as possible, as much sense to put during the next 20 minutes, and I'm going to be translating for you, for those who don't speak English.
But I will be not very economic, and I won't make any sense at all. So,
which is the best combination? I'm odmah pitanja. Let's start with the questions.
What are your impressions about Kustendorf, and have you seen any Serbian movies about
yes, but the names don't come to me off the top of my head, but I have seen many Serbian films over the years. My impressions on Kustendorf is like I was completely shocked, because I couldn't imagine that a place so beautiful, so magical could actually house a film festival. But it does it so much better than any of the other ones that I've been to. I mean, just in terms of you're not in a place, I've said it before, but you're not in a place where you're feeling like it's a kind of networking, and you know, this one's trying to sell this and this one's trying to buy that, and it's just a place where the possibility of communication is there, the possibility of meeting someone up and coming who will do great things is there. So I'm very impressed, to be honest.
And what was your impression when you were first time on area of you were here before?
In 92, yeah, 91 or 92. 93? Okay. Okay. I was here in the 90s, the early 90s.
When did the war start in ex-Yugoslavia?
91.
91.
When did the war start in Bosnia? 92. So we were here 1992 in February. The war broke in Bosnia 2.5-3 months later.
Yeah,
so it's not 93.
It was bubbling. Yeah, my impressions were I mean, I loved it instantly, but because there's the culture. I love the culture instantly. I love the people instantly. I appreciate the one of the things that I learned from Amir by just watching Amir, this sort of familial the gravity and the depth of familial sort of love. You know? He was to see Amir 20 years ago with his kids was hugely made a huge impression on me. Thank you. You're going to translate or my family, my kids. Sorry? New on my horizon. Well, the horizon, I suppose, you know. There's some work to be done this year. I start a couple of films, another with Tim Burton, and then the following year, Amir and I are going to do. I'm very honored to say that I get to play Panjovia in a film for Amir. So that's a pretty big horizon. You were going to ask something else, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you want? Yeah, I'll give it to you. Sir.
This is the third edition of this festival, which is creating more and more interest. Are you satisfied by this growing interest, or in this point are you also worried?
I started being worried, but last year when I've seen that the festival is growing, but unless the festival keeps its shape, in which such a great people like Johnny coming, no billboards, no commercial ads, nothing but cinema and substance of cinema, music and life, we are going to keep it. I'm thinking about this seriously, and I'm extending Mokra Gora up till the number of 500, which is the full capacity of this hall. You need to just put the screen on the other side, then you could put 500 people, and then until we reach this number of beds so people could sleep. And if we keep our government being aware that they need to give us some money to maintain this non-commercial, really independent place, I think we are going to have always, every night, beautiful atmosphere in which my daughter will make DJ night with the music like last night. They will drink until 7 in the morning, and they will love each other at 10 o'clock in the morning if they have to wake up. And even if they have to wake up 3 o'clock, they still love each other. This is going to be the biggest and the happiest continuation of the festival.
Yeah. We all know that the future is anti-globalist. What are your political views?
I'm a pedestrian. I just keep moving forward. No, because I mean, in any case, politically, there's always some sort of hurdle. You know, there's always an obstacle. There's always a hurdle. There's always some level of distrust. There's always some level of potential. But I mean, for me, you know, as an American, I can honestly say that for the first time in my life that I can ever remember feeling hope and feeling the possibility of hope when George Bush left the office.
That's why we put him into prison here.
So Obama came and brought the possibility of hope again. So clearly any president from now on has a lot of cleaning up to do after this guy that's in jail over here. What's his name?
Bush. George Bush.
Yeah, that guy.
Mr. Ninos.
Comment on Pancho Villa. Why has the emir chose this subject nowadays? And also, what affinities do you both see with today and with our age? I mean, are there any comparisons? Why Pancho Villa today? And also, something more for Johnny regarding Obama after 1 year in office. How do you see it today? Are you as optimistic as you were 1 year ago?
To stay on that subject, I'm as optimistic as I was 1 year ago. You know, nothing is going to. There won't be any. I'm sure won't be any radical. You know, changes. Smiling, happy, everything. You know, in such a short amount of time. The fact is that for 8 years. The president before did more damage globally than anyone could ever possibly have imagined. So we've had this guy for 1 year. He has great intentions. He's a decent man, and I look forward to I think he's a strong man as well. So I look forward to very good things coming from Obama. Pancho Villa?
Pancho Villa. Let me start with Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa was having the biggest battle on the northern part of Mexico, which does not correspond to the logics of social position of people who usually go to revolution. But if you understand that North Mexico is on the border with the part of U.S., and you know that U.S. was always the biggest exporter of weapons. You could understand when somebody with such a hot blood gets the weapons, how easy he could go into the war. We have today the situation that brings us this kind of narco cartels fighting. Again, it's question of trafficking. What I was interested was not this kind of historical aspect of this. That's why the book out of which we come with the idea is called Friends of Pancho Villa. And this movie will be separated into 7 chapters in which Pancho Villa goes through each to the final that I love the most, when it's like a tragic end of the biggest hero and idol that I had, literally idol in my life. I'm dragged, and I'm really jumping into this movie because I want to see the aspect of personality that is so personal, as much as I believe two of us are paying attention to stay as personal as possible. So, comparison, the time when before the World War I broke in Europe, when Panchavilla was taking his thousands of people to fight, and all these conditions are less important to me than what was and who was this guy. We didn't see it in cinema. We didn't see this kind of combination what Johnny and I were like in between funny and very serious situations, with kind of I want to recreate the cinema that I grew up with, cinema of Sergio Leone, big cinema that with humanity and with all the characteristics that both of us we carry with us could oppose these blockbusters which are today growing, and this tendency that brings them in front of the eyes of people to poison their spirit. We want to do the opposite.
How about a cinematic question? Last night, one of the three authors you mentioned were Mr. Burton and Jarmusch. So, could you relate some of your experiences with working with Jarmusch? And also, how do you see Dead Man nowadays? Because I find it really interesting that the film was not so well received when it came out, and now it has attained the cult status, basically.
I think part of the reason that Dead Man wasn't received so well when it came out back then was because Harvey Weinstein chose to release it in 2 cinemas, which I thought was very generous of him. Working with Jarmusch, I mean, what a gift, you know. I mean, to have had the opportunity. If you just said those 3 directors, I've been lucky enough to work with these others, certainly who I admire greatly. But to be able to say that I was in deeply collaborative sort of situations with Emir Kusturica, Jim Jarmusch, and Tim Burton is like, it just doesn't get better, you know. So, and though the 3 of them are very, very different in their language, I suppose, they're also incredibly similar, because there isn't a bone in any of their bodies that's capable of compromise, which is first and foremost the thing that what I respect, you know. Thank you.
Ja bih vas zamolio stvarno, slikali, okay? Just to enjoy the conversation, because it's tap, fap, tap, fap, tap, 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 fap, fap. I know you're gonna hate me after this. Znam da ćete mrziti, ali ne mogu vam tu. Znači, posljednje 3 minute ja ću ovako pokazati, a vi uzorajte i svi. Ovaj me mrzi najviše sad. It's okay. It's even worse. Okay, let's go. Next.
In Pirates, you were walking like a drug sailor. Almost have different facial expression, I should say. So there is something about the movie characters.
I don't know, you know, they come to me like Emir mentioned it earlier. The idea, you know, cinema is like you close your eyes and these images start to arrive. And what happens for me when I read a script is I start to get kind of flashes of imagery, or it may be a person that I've known in my life, or it may be I mean, with Edward Scissorhands, it was a dog, you know, that I'd had as a child. So these kind of images arrive, and that's sort of really the basis for these guys, you know. Depending on whether you're playing a real person, because there's obviously a lot more responsibility, because, you know, an existing there's a yeah, you feel like you owe them the proper sort of proper interpretation, you know. But yeah, I mean, and the most, and you know, if I'm guilty of one thing in terms of my work, it's that I, in any situation, especially the heavier the better, I have a tendency to lean towards humor, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know.
Why Keith Richards as inspiration for James Byrne?
Because I made the connection, you know, in my mind of Keith as a pirate, because if you think about the early 18th century and the pirates and you know, it took them months and months to get across the sea, but meanwhile their reputation arrived years before they did. So Blackbeard was well known infinitely before he arrived in North Carolina. He was feared. He was respected. He was, you know, he had such a reputation, and I thought that's exactly the rock and roll star's sort of life. Keith Richards being the most, I mean, in the 70s, my God, you know, the reputation that he had, and would certainly arrive far before his guitar and he did. You know, so that was the kind of correlation, and also, who better to be a pirate? I mean, he is a pirate, Keith. So, yeah, that was why I chose Keith. Incidentally, he didn't know that I was sponging off of him. And
have you learned to dance the organizational dance?
I'm working on it.
Okay, and do you remember when you played 15, 18 years ago with Party Breakers in Belgrade?
Yeah, I remember it very well. What did I say?
In Serbia? Do you know what you said?
I don't know. No, what did I say?
I'm ashamed to repeat it.
Really?
Tell us, we are going to take in consideration you are in Kustendorf. Say just.
Will you translate?
Yes, I will.
Say all words.
I am afraid...
Did I say that?
No, wait. I am afraid you are deadly wrong. Would you dare to say my favorite sentence that you know in Serbian that we wanted to say in the palace?
Yeah, the kind of philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is maybe what I said. Sve je to pičkin dim. Maybe it was that, no?
This is
your philosophy.
no, it's adopted philosophy.
But it's kind of, it's a beautiful sort of, it makes you think, no?
Several times I tried to translate that sentence to some English or American people.
Yeah.
You just say always to them, it's smoke on the water.
One professional question. You look very natural on film and very convincible. Do you always believe and do you always know what to do when you're making films and you're preparing a role?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have a very strong foundation or a basis from which to leap, you know, when in terms of the work. But more than that, what's important, I think, is having all the information, whatever the psychology, whatever dissections you had to make to find this character. What I found more important is to be able to throw that all away, you know. To be able to stand in a very strong place, and then to have all that research and all that work, but to be able to throw it all away and give yourself up to the possibility of chance, you know, because that's the only time magic happens, you know. When it's not, I can't stand the idea of anything planned, you know. When an actor comes in and says his lines exactly the same way every single time, I find it miraculous that anyone could stand them to do that, you know. So yeah, I think it's great to have something solid beneath you, but at the same time, you need to be able to fly a bit. You know? Yeah, please. Yeah, with pleasure.
What are your favorite writers except Chekhov and your favorite poets except William Blake?
Oh boy, poets. I mean, Baudelaire. I mean, Baudelaire. It doesn't get better. Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. But then you have, you know, some of the more recent. Well, the more recent. I mean, like Bukowski certainly had a good sense of humor. Writers, I'm such an addict of books. I'm like a fiend. I read. I'll read 2 and 3 at a time. You know, I can't. It's like I can't get enough. So, writers, I still am hugely in love with Jack Kerouac's books, and I mean, there are too many. There's Hunter Thompson, certainly. There's William Burroughs. There's Allen Ginsberg. The list goes on and on. Thank you.
You said Thompson. Can you tell us something about Rum Diaries?
Yeah, Rum Diaries went very well. You know, Bruce Robinson, who was he made a film called With Nell and I that was like I mean, one of the it's one of my favorite films of all time, along with like Time of the Gypsies. With Nell and I was a magical film, and I tried for almost 17 years to get Bruce to come out of director's retirement and do something, and I finally got him for Rum Diary, and he wrote the screenplay and directed it, and Hunter would be very proud. Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
You think that I came all the way from Switzerland, which unfortunately got famous for asking Polanski. What do you think about it, and do you know anything else about it?
Why now? Why now? What's going? I mean, obviously there's something going on somewhere, and somebody had to make a deal with someone for something, and maybe there's a little money involved. I don't know, but why now? He's been going there for 30 years. No, I'm not saying that to you. I'm asking the question in general. For 30 years he's been going there. He has a place, he has a house there, you know.
Especially the way they did it.
Especially the way they
called him to give him a lifetime achievement, and then it was in the end it was a trap to arrest him.
And also the thing is very clearly, and he's proven this, Roman Polanski is not a predator. I mean, he's he's 75 years old, or 76. He's got 2 beautiful kids. He's got a wife that he's been with for a long, long time. He's not out in the street, you know, doing horrible things. So I'm confused by it.
You can go anywhere in the world, and fans and the press is harassing you. It's maybe something in your life that you regret.
No. I mean, I think that the fact is that, you know, whatever's happened has happened for a reason, and for good reason. I consider myself very lucky, you know, to have the job, and I consider, you know, I don't like the word fame. It always freaks me out. I can't think of that word in terms of me. But there's a certain amount of your life that you give up when you reach a certain level. So I've given up anonymity and you know, certain pieces of your life, but there's a way to regain it. You know, there's a way to find it, because really, like, what's really important, the only reason that I'm here, that Amir is here, the only reason that any of us are here, is because of the people out there and standing in the cold who want to have a piece of paper signed, or want to go to the cinema, or appreciate your work. So those people out there are the ones that keep me employed. So if there's, you know, you have to deal with strange noises and cameras going off, and it's all right. I've had worse jobs, you know.
I would like to know, Johnny, because now you speak fluently French. It's a long time to be married.
Fluent, I'm not so sure, but
You not speak fluently yet?
I don't know.
Kind of.
Where's the end? I don't know.
Tu parles en français, tu peux parler?
Un petit peu, oui.
Oui. Tu comprends tout?
tout, on verra.
Bon, là, comment je parle pas français, je parle en anglais. I speak in English because
Better, yes.
because I didn't start. So I'd like to know, would you accept to play in the French movie, in French cinema? Because,
yeah, of course. I did a film with a small part in the film of Yvon Attal. Yeah, exactly. Yvon Attal. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, it was fun. But you know, yeah, of course I would. Just depends on if it's the right thing to do. You know, if it's the right story, if it's the right filmmaker. That happened to work out well. You know.
Yeah, because I have a few friends, everybody likes you a lot in Paris. But you don't have an agent in Paris, no? You don't have a...
No, because my agent of 27 years would kill me if I had another agent.
Please.
One question. Tell me, please, what is the key thing? I'm very interested in the key thing which distinguishes your work with... You are a very experienced and very famous actor, so which distinguishes your work with Andy Costa from other directors?
Yeah, which distinguishes my work. I mean, I wouldn't know how to answer that. I can only say that in terms of my work, I've felt very blessed to have that experience on Arizona Dream with him for that length of time, and to get to know him and to get to know his family and learn not only about cinema but learn about life and learn what's important and what's not. And I was able to witness that through Amir, so he could probably answer the...
Thank you very much. So you are working actually with the greatest cultural treasure of Serbia at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What I said today when we had a master class, what I found after a while that, you know, I always wanted to be decent, polite, good, everything what Johnny is by his nature. I've seen Johnny from time to time freaking out also. So it doesn't seem that somebody who under his skin he keeps decent, good, whatever, does not have the opposite, which sometimes explodes. It's like a question of hydraulic pressure that you live. But the point is that somebody like him had given me a great life experience in which, as I said today, you could be the best actor in the world, and if you are a jerk, you're a jerk. You could be the best technician in the world, but if you are not good football player, born to be a football player, you are not that. So Johnny is the one who showed me after many years that decency, goodness, what we call en français bonheur, and all this good personal stuff together with the fight to stay autonomous. Let's say in Christian civilization the major point is to have autonomy. Here is the guy who probably has the biggest autonomy in the world at the moment. Not just because of the money. Money is the effect of the life, but because of his conception of life. How much we are aware of our conception, how much not, that's not the most important. But you know, you don't have, I don't think at the moment in the planet, you don't have anybody who could come to such a place or to any other place to provoke such a good reaction, unanimous reaction. You know, all like what the girl was asking, anti-globalism. He said, I'm pedestrian, whatever. He's the guy who keeps going on with his personality. And I think this is the answer to all the questions. Every different question could be coming to this solution. He is loved because he is who is he. He is loved because of his mother, because of his father, because of his sister, everything that was surrounding him in the process of growing up and getting matured. But in fact, personality is the one that we love, whatever way he goes. And when we are lucky that you have cinema that gives us such a profile, then it's even better than we thought and expected. So that's why, you know, when you have to make a movie, man, you have to spend the time with somebody who doesn't bother you. And I understand Johnny's. He didn't spend all his life with the directors who didn't bother him, for sure. But the point is, when we were speaking about possibility of making a movie together, first what we thought was, let's spend some time together. And let's do something that we are going to be pleased with and honored. And so the question is always coming, who are these people? You know, and this is what makes me thrilled, pleased, and honored that I could welcome him in my place.
Excuse me?
Are you following news from newspaper or only internet?
It depends. I mean, because I end up traveling a lot, so it's a little of neither, really. I suppose a bit on the internet more when you're traveling, but.
Which web pages you read? Which web page?
Pages.
Which page? You mean on the internet? I don't know, whatever arrives, you know. I'm not very technically, you can imagine. They break whenever I come near them, computers. Yes, of course.
You have a very young spirit.
Yes.
Okay. You watch me. You have a very young spirit in you. So, my question is, when you make film, how old child in you play with life, with filming, with everything you do?
How old is that?
Child in your God.
This is a very good question because I have almost the same. Is
You
there
understand me?
Yes.
kind of Peter Pan that you are living through your movies? Because it seems that you are having so much fun and you are enjoying your acting.
Yeah.
You are acting. You are playing with the role, with the character.
I feel like there's a part, I mean, in terms of a specific age, it's funny that you ask that because there's a part of me, and probably a lot of us, that feels like the arrested development at 17, you know. And you think about the age of 17, especially for a guy coming from where I came from, probably very similar to Emir in the sense that at 17, you were a man. You were a grown man. There were possibilities. Everything in life was in front of you. But you couldn't get in too much trouble, which means you could get in trouble, but you wouldn't go to jail for it. This was very important. And I have a feeling that at the age of 17, somehow, I locked off and just kind of stayed there in a weird way. So in terms of a Peter Pan kind of thing, I still feel 17 inside, though I'm 90,000 on the outside.
So this is that you look so young.
Oh no, that's no. But
When it's very young.
It's a pills that he's taking.
No, vitamins. Yeah.
That's the truth on your hand. Is name your son or what?
That's my son, yeah.
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 And the daughter?
Jack, she's up here. Julie Rose is here.
We are entering the zone of last 3 minutes, which means 3 questions more, and then we are finished. The guy from Switzerland, from Polanski's place. I was joking. Just ask question.
Oh.
I have a very soft question that this last to your elected sexist non-alive. What are 3 things about you that you think
Nothing. Nothing and
Nothing.
and then nothing. No, I mean that was I'm sure someone made a spelling mistake somewhere with that, and it was supposed to be someone else. No, that confused me beyond recognition. I didn't know how to react to that. I really thought it was a joke. When someone told me, I thought it was a joke. I still think it's kind of a joke in a weird way.
Można oczekiwać Manu Chao'a na tym teście.
If Manu Chao is yes, why not? You, sir?
Yeah, how would you characterize his way of directing?
Oh, I'm totally organic. I mean, completely organic, and from the kind of the collaborative sort of welcoming into his world is what I found most incredible, and as we mentioned before, the element of trust, which is the most important thing for an actor and a director to have, is that trust. I mean, for instance, I felt so comfortable and confident that I could try absolutely anything, because for an actor to deliver as much as he can, or to deliver as many options as he can to a director, you have to be willing to fail, you know. So Amir's this allows this kind of atmosphere where the possibilities are endless, and it's okay to make an ass of yourself, or it's okay to fail, because you got the next take. So, but he inspires you to want to try things, to try something completely different, you know. On Arizona Dream, when there was a scene where I had to seduce Faye Dunaway, and we were speaking and decided that it should be done as a chicken. People thought we were insane, and maybe we were, but it worked, you know. But to be able to arrive at a place like that is total artistic freedom. So yeah, it's a magnificent gift working with Emir. Yes, yes.
There is a Greek question again.
You know, earlier at the master's class there were two masters. You mentioned that you like the absurd. I also know that you like Man Ray, which are elements to do with surrealism. And the surrealists believe in l'amour fou.
They
believe in l'amour fou.
L'amour fou, yeah.
L'amour fou.
L'amour fou. Me, I think everything is fou. I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion that everyone on the planet is, at the very least, somehow a little bit crazy. We all have our strange things, so yeah, sure. I do have a great appreciation for the surreal, the absurd, and most important, the totally irreverent. I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy to challenge things, to challenge yourself. I think it's healthy to make fun of things and to make fun of yourself, to be willing to make fun of yourself. So yeah, sure. Thanks.
One more question and we are finished. Over. There's a guy over there. Yeah. Ask. On our way, yes. Why not? Sure. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.